Oh, hey guys, I didn't see you there. Don't mind me, I'm just working on Blue Lock Season 2. Even if you haven't watched Blue Lock, you've probably seen some of the memes about this season's animation floating around on social media. It's been interesting, to say the least, especially compared to last season. With 10.5 million copies of the manga sold in 2023 and a successful first season of the anime, fans of Blue Lock had high expectations for the highly anticipated U20 match. These expectations, however, were in fact not met. What's going on with Season 2 of Blue Lock, or as some fans call it, PNG Lock? In this video, I'll cover what I believe is the main reason for the decline in quality, as well as briefly talk about the anime industry as a whole. Shintaro Inokawa and Yuji Haibara joined on as new directors for Blue Lock Season 2. Most of the main staff is back from Season 1 outside of a few here and there. So, what's up with Season 2 then? One potential cause for the drop in quality is a difference in allotted production time between Season 1 and Season 2. Put simply, the studio had more time to work on Season 1, which allowed them to pour more into it. 8-Bit, which is already a fairly small studio, had to not only animate Season 2, but also the Nagi movie for 2024. I can only imagine how stressful the production schedule was. Martin Kings, however, an animator that worked on episodes for shows like Dawn to Dawn and Blue Lock, can enlighten us on the behind the scenes of production. 3 days ago, he released a TikTok in which he spoke about the troubles he and other animators faced during the production of Blue Lock Season 2, claiming that due to time constraints, they were extremely rushed during the animation process. But that's not all. After Martin Kings and other animators completed their scenes, someone else would then come after and cut out several frames from the sequence. His translated words were, basically, they eliminated all the movement for some frames, or they just made them completely differently. That has to be painful for the animators, doing all of that hard work just for it to be chopped down to its bare limits. He then goes on to say, but the fault doesn't lie in the one that came after me, since they probably did all they could with the little time they had. These problems, just like in JJK in the past, or in the vast majority of anime, are a result of the production committee of certain anime that take projects simply thinking about the money and not the condition of its workers. I just wonder who he could be possibly thinking of. Bandai Namco, you may currently be in my good graces because of Sparking Zero, but you are mostly to blame for Blue Lock's slow start. Martin King's comment about production committees taking on too many projects without fully considering their workers describes Bandai Namco fully. I mean, think about it. At most, the animators had a bit over a year to animate both the Nagi movie and Season 2, meaning that the deadlines for productions were tight. Reminds me of another show I know. Oh wait. This leads me to my final point about the anime industry as a whole. I'll keep it brief since this topic could be a video of its own. The current focus of quantity and making money over quality could spell trouble for the anime industry. The United Nations Human Rights Committee made a report highlighting the issues that encourage worker exploitation in Japan, and especially within the animation sector. Anime is huge around the world, and it's only getting bigger. According to this, in 2023, 20% of anime industry profits came from outside of Japan. With the global market on an upward trend, which has led to an increase in anime production across the board, can the industry handle such an increase? Other key issues highlighted by the report include the large gap between the anime industry's profits and the wages of animators, as well as contract and labor law issues. Speaking of these contract and labor laws, over 30% of animators within the industry are freelancers, meaning that they are not protected by these laws, so they can be subject to long hours and lower wages. On the topic of lower wages, the article goes on to say that the entry-level price per unit of animation is 250 yen, which is about $1.60, meaning that if an entry-level animator did 300 units in a month, they would only make about 75,000 yen, or about $500. That's not sustainable at all, and this is typically not the anime studios doing. The Nikkei business article highlighted that animation studios usually lack the finances or power to raise wages without going bankrupt themselves. The intellectual property rights are usually fully owned by the TV stations, investors, and the like. Faced with lower wages and long work hours, a lot of experienced animators are stepping away from the industry, which could spell trouble in the long term for the animation industry. Basically, the way the system is set up allows for exploitation of workers, and it will need a complete overhaul to continue to grow sustainably or even survive in the future. Hopefully, the proper interventions are put into place to allow for change within the industry. The production of Blue Lock Season 2 has been nothing short of difficult. Faced with extremely tight deadlines, animators rushed to complete their work on time, and even so, their hard work was skinned to the bone to save resources. But let's end this video on a positive note. We as fans should be more empathetic to the animators that are pouring their soul into their work. A lot of things within the industry are just completely out of their control, and yet they still deliver amazing art month after month, year after year. I hope the proper reform comes to the animation industry so that everyone is fairly compensated and treated like a human being. Anime will only continue to get bigger, so there really is no excuse. Well, that's my spiel. Let me know what y'all are thinking about this. Do you still have hope for the U20 match itself? I think it'll have better animation, like we saw towards the end of episode 3, but we'll see. Thank you all, as always, for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.